So let's talk about two key factors to being successful in real estate. Actually being successful in any business, but we're going to apply this to real estate. It's consistency and follow-up. So in your business in real estate, the consistency and follow-up principles are things that you have to abide by. If you are calling on leads and you spoke to someone that said, yeah, I might be interested in selling, call me next month. If you weren't consistent on your follow-ups and making sure that you're following up on those type of leads, then when you call that person maybe in 3 months from now, or just didn't call them back next month, you probably lost out on that deal. So there's a few guidelines that I always give my students and people that I'm teaching real estate investing to incorporate in their business to make sure that they are operating at a high level of consistency and follow-up. So the first thing is making sure that you are keeping proper notes on all of your lead sheets. So in my call center, one of the things that I'm very adamant about every single week when I meet with my call center staff is making sure that in their notes, they're not only putting the date of when they called that person and the time as well, but also what the result was. If there was no answer and they just sent a text message and left a voicemail, then they make note of that. If they actually spoke to the person, but the person said this is not a good time and just hung up on them, by putting the date and the time, saying it was on a Tuesday at 4:30 in the afternoon, well, maybe they work 9 to 5, or maybe they work until 6 o'clock. So if you're calling people and you put the times that you're calling them and you're not getting a hold of people, and you put that in your notes, that let's say you've got a list of people that you called in the mornings and those people did not pick up, then what you would want to do on your follow-up is making sure that you are following up at a different time than you did previously. So good follow-up is not just about calling them back again and again and again. Good follow-up is taking in the information. Okay, what time did I call? When did I call? What day did I call? Maybe if you call someone on a Monday and you didn't get through to them and it called at 11 a.m., but then you were smart enough to write down, I called Monday at 11 a.m., so you called back on a Wednesday, 2 days later, and you called at 5:30 p.m. and they didn't pick up, or 6 o'clock and they still didn't pick up. If you see that consistently throughout the lead, where you're calling during the weekdays and no one's picking up, then your follow-up needs to be obviously on the weekend, on a Saturday. Saturdays and Sundays are great times to be able to call people and to do your follow-up, okay? So one of your principles of follow-up and being consistent with your follow-up is not only making proper notes, but also giving yourself and setting those reminders. I always set my reminders up and my notes and my lead lists as last contact and next contact. Last contact was the last time I contacted them. It'll have the time, the date. If there was a conversation between us, call me back on Saturday because my wife's not here and I need her to listen to this as well. If you're talking about, our property or our foreclosure or probate or whatever you're calling them about in order to try to get the deal. So then on the next contact, if I spoke to somebody today and it's Tuesday and I am supposed to call them back on a Saturday, on my next contact, I'm going to put Saturday's date. So on Friday, when I'm looking through my lead list to see what do I need to do the next day, which is another principle of consistency and follow-up I'll talk about in a second, then on Friday when I check, then I'm going to see that there's a date for tomorrow, Saturday, that I need to do something with that lead. Oh, I don't remember off the top of my head. Let me go back to the last contact and there's notes in there. Oh, this was the husband that I spoke to and I'm supposed to call them back on Saturday. So again, consistency and follow-up are the keys to the real secret sauce to having a successful real estate business. Making sure that you're keeping proper notes for your follow-up, making sure that you're setting reminders for yourself on those follow-ups are two of the things that will help you maintain a higher level of consistency and follow-up. And then also making sure that as you're keeping your notes, that you're checking every single day to see what is on par for the next day. One of the most key principles in being consistent and following up is checking the day before, every single day, every night before I close up shop, whether it's 6:30 or 10:30 at night, which sometimes it is. I'm going to make sure that I look at what is on board for tomorrow. What meetings do I have? What homeowners do I have to meet with? And then I set those reminders if I haven't already, and making sure that the next day I'm going to be consistent in all of my follow-up.